Hi guys, Lewis here with this week's episode of Piranha Bytes. So I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks on here now, and I'd just like to reiterate and say it again. A former employee and colleague of mine, Greg, has had a very serious diagnosis, and we have a GoFundMe page. So if you can go on there for more details, anyone that remembers Greg remembers him fondly and everything else. See if you can contribute anything to that, because anything is appreciated. Thanks very much for listening to that, and we'll get on with the comics now. So first up from this week, something I really enjoyed, Step by Bloody Step, issue 1, by Simon Spurrier, and it's a silent issue actually, which they're harder to pull off. So the fact that it did makes it, like, you know, an even more commendable achievement. Not heard of the artist before, at least I don't think so anyway. And yeah, it basically tells the tale of a helpless little child being, I don't know if rescued or saved is the right word, but being looked after by a robot against, like, sort of all odds, and there's lots of trials and tribulations and challenges and threats and everything, and you see them go on this journey and traverse different environments and planes. Kind of reminded me of the Iron Giant a little bit, if you remember the Disney film. But yeah, definitely check it out, especially if you guys remember how good his Hellblazer was. Like, that was the best thing on the shelves when it was coming out, so it's good to see him got a regular comic out on Image. Next up, actually before that, a little honourable mention. I read it and we've sold out of it so fast, so I don't actually have a copy of me, but Heavy Metal Drummer, published by Behemoth, was awesome. For anyone that read Daniel Warren Johnson's Murder Falcon, very much up that street. If you're a heavy metal fan, you'll totally dig it, and if you're a Grant Morrison fan, you'll totally dig it as well, because it's a total Venn diagram of those two tones. I really recommend it. I had so much fun reading it. Just annoyingly don't have a copy to hand. Next up for major releases, Carnage Forever issue 1. Now, I've not had the chance to read that yet, but it is Ram V, so I've picked it up. I reckon it'd be really good. I really like this guy's stuff. Can't remember if I've spoken about it before on here, but there's a graphic novel we did that really impressed me called Blue in Green over at Image, so check that out if you can as well. But yeah, he's one of the co-writers on Venom already, so if you're enjoying that, check out what he's doing at Carnage as well. And the other big Marvel release from this week as well, Ghost Rider #1. He's back. Not had a Ghost Rider comic for a while, and the fact that it's Benjamin Percy as well has me pretty excited, because he's been doing wicked stuff with Wolverine, the main run, and now currently what we got going on with the X Lives and X Deaths of Wolverine. So if you're enjoying those, definitely check out the Ghost Rider, because I don't see any reason it will be bad. Benjamin Percy's really good. Next up, Deadly Class. Edge is very close to its end now, and that makes me sad but happy at the same time, because I've been on a journey with this book. I've been reading it in trades, and I recently read the 10th volume. So if you're also reading it in trades as well, the 10th volume has recently come out. But yeah, I think, judging by the name of the arc, they've only got one more arc left in the tank, so we're probably looking at 1, 2, maybe 3 more issues tops. It's going to be really sad, but I've maintained, as long as the ending doesn't suck, this is the best thing I've read from Image Comics. Can't recommend it enough. Next up, still with Image, Rockstar and Softboy. Not had a chance to read this yet, but I've had a thumb through, and it looks really interesting. Quite music orientated, if you didn't guess by the name. And also, Sign of Grace did something recently. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was a thing called Truth, but I could be wrong. So they seem to be getting a bit of a rep as well. So if you've enjoyed any of their work, that's the latest offering. Next up, Gunslinger Spawn issue 5. All the Spawn fans out there. This is, out of what I've checked out, which isn't a lot, but thumbing through the issues and stuff, this is the title out of the recent Spawn ones I favour the most, because it's got Brett Booth on the art. I think he's criminally underrated. I know him from his 90s Image stuff where he did Backlash, which was so cool. So yeah, like, if you like the sort of Jim Lee style art and whatever, he's a really big proponent of that. He looks less like that these days. It's kind of got more of a Venn diagram between Jim Lee and Capullo going on. still really dig it, and it means he's coming to his own a little. He's also done a hell of a lot of Flash stuff. If you want to check that out as well, because he was a mainstay on that title for a while. But yeah, latest Gunslinger Spawn, latest Amazing Spider-Man as well. I've got to admit, I've been keeping up with this just because there's a hell of a lot of it coming out, so I will wait for the trades. But what I did read was really cool, and it's Gleason at the moment, who, awesome writer. I always go on about how good him and Tomasi's Superman run was. As an extended run, probably the best Superman stuff I've read, which is saying something when you consider John Byrne's Man of Steel stuff as well. Spider-Man, cool, but it's really hard to top Ultimate Spider-Man, really, with Bendis in the form of his life back then. And speaking of Bendis, it brings me to my kind of golden oldie from the Vault pick, but it's also a new release, so it's got a weird status, this one. But the Bendis Malieve Moon Knight run has come back into print for ages of being out of print, and I'd love to sell this to everyone who walks in. It's an interesting run because quite a lot of Moon Knight diehards aren't too hot on it, and I think it's great. Obviously, his whole shtick, a lot of people will probably know by now because they're getting prepared for the show and whatnot. It's got 5 different personalities. In this, he also imagines he is Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Cap, which I think is really cool. I don't think it's out of the ultimate stretch of imagination to think he could have an extra 2 or 3 if he's that mental in the first place. But yeah, check it out. It's also one of 2 books, I'd say, where Malieve performs his best as well. I really like his Moon Knight stuff, and I really like his work on Scarlet when Bendis and Malieve were originally doing the first run of that. So if you're a Malieve fan, check out some of his best art. Next up, Supermassive issue 1. This is for all you Radiant Black fans out there, because it's set in that universe, and I think there's another 1 or 2 titles to come out of that. So if you're reading Radiant Black, basically treat that as the next issue, because there's going to be more stuff flowing from that universe. And finally, I just mentioned it earlier actually, X Deaths of Wolverine. Benjamin Percy's been doing great work on that. Those are nearly at an end because they're both mini-series, and then we'll get the regular Wolverine title back, which I'm sure will be a jump on after these are finished. So that's all from me for a comprehensive list of everything that's out. Obviously, check out Dave's newsletter, and thanks, guys.
Piranha, fight, fight, fight. Piranha, 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 fight.